Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel. Thank you for joining this audio live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you would a radio broadcast. In this essay, I'd like to talk about a real life event that we've been exposed to in this business oversharing. And we had this is a client, a customer with 500 or so employees. They're in the technical end of the spectrum, and they've grown a lot through acquisition rather than through actually growing their business. And they've got sort of some heavyweight financial folks behind them, and so the growth has again been through acquisition. So now they've sort of decided they don't want to do any more acquisition on this, not for the time being. So they started to look at the people that they've got in the management, and the quality is not high. They're mostly straight white males, by the way, but they've sort of grabbed them off the shop floor. When it was a smaller business, the guy who did the forklifts and loaded the trucks, he became the vice president of operations. He sort of just kept on moving up the food chain as the acquisitions continued. And not much thought or care was given to it. So we're not talking high quality management. They want to succeed, and they I suppose within the realms of their capacity, they're doing the best they can, but they're not much chop. So anyway, we're called in to do something, and they decide. I don't always put upon them, or they decided it themselves. They decided they needed to get a new VP. I think an EVP, given the look of things. And as is often the case, and we kind of just get used to this and shrug our shoulders when it happens, whenever there's a new executive to be appointed for some reason, most companies, whether they be quangos, government departments, or in this instance a private company, they say, okay, the project you're working on has to, no matter what the project is, by the way, everything has to stop. It's on hold. It's on hold until we get this new person on board, and then they can sort of have input into this. Whether it's even got something to do with them or not, it's even material to, or whether or not their arrival of a new person would have any relationship to the work we're doing. That they don't seem to think about this. Now, a lot of these managers really, given they're not qualified to do, they can't think of more than one thing at a time. So if they've got to think about hiring a new, in this case, a VP, and the project we're working on, that's two things. And they can't think about two things at once. So they're going to hire the new VP, but then the project is put on hold. Now, I've made an attempt to explain, well, look, it doesn't make any difference whether you're getting this VP or you do or you don't. It's irrelevant. You've signed onto a contract where you have to pay us either way. So you're not saving anything. You're not achieving anything or accomplishing anything. And you've got to be a little diplomatic in how you present this. But no, we can't think of two things at once, only one thing. Therefore, that's on hold while we do this. And it's irritating and annoying, but it happens so often. We just shrug. Again, we sort of get rather resigned to it in many ways. So anyway, because of the CEO was sort of who I made a point of flattering and sort of getting on with, he sort of was asking my opinion on a few things related to this VP, and they produced a job description that was reasonable enough, by the way. There was I thought it overemphasized a little bit, because these guys all came from the shop floor and over promoted. They tend to see the world on that basis. So well, we want a VP, and by the way, you have to be qualified at pushing a broom. They seem to have, they can't lose that side of the shop floor thing, but you don't want a VP running around sweeping the fucking floor, for goodness sake. Anyway, they started off all right. They got, I don't know where they found it. They got some this tiny sort of scrawny little girl who looks like she's going to have a nervous breakdown any tick of the clock. Somehow they found her, and she's their specialist recruiter. So okay, so well, fine. Why they would do that, I don't know. But again, she's got this look on her face like she's just about to fall to pieces. She's within a whisker of falling. So I don't know why you would pick somebody like that. But anyway, they did. And so we have been doing a little bit of work on the edges. And so we've been sort of coming and going. So I've got to get a bit of a front row seat on this. So they run their advert. They get in a bunch of applications. I'm not sure how many. A bunch of applications. The general complaint is that of the applications they got in, that they were, it was too much of a particular skill set they didn't really want. So, and the CEO was complaining about, we're having a cup of coffee, he was complaining to me about it. And I said, well, did you put that in the advert? Well, we did, but we didn't. So, all right, then why, if you didn't really want that, why did you put that in the advert that that's what you wanted? Well, Now, this sort of stuff irritates me. The incompetence of it irritates me. But look, that's why ask for one thing and then decide you don't really want it, and then complain that the people that applied have the thing that you said you did want that you now don't want. That to me is, it's time wasting. It's incompetent. Anyway. That's where they went with that. So somehow, and I don't know who decided this, I would suspect it was the nervous recruiter that suggested it, and then it got jumped on by the CEO. But I'm not really sure, and I haven't finished my investigations. But they decide to hire from somewhere an affirmative action social diversity consultant to come and advise them on the hiring. Why you would do that to yourself is well beyond me. The CEO didn't strike me as the sort of guy that would have done that or agreed to it. It was put to me. But anyway, he had. So in comes this woman who'd be, I don't know, mid-30s, blue streaks through the hair, nose piercing, piercing in the lips, piercing the eyebrows. Tattoos. Wouldn't that just put you off? Anyway, she's supposed to be advising them, and she has a look at supposedly has a look at the people who applied, and it was not diverse enough. It's all straight white males. Now, the industry that they're in is traditionally like a heavy engineering type of stuff. Is traditionally what I would classify as you're looking at 99% of the people that are working there are straight white males. A few brown apprentices, not many, and the only women working there are working in the office doing clerical type jobs. The nervous recruiter, for example, is a white woman. So anyway, there it is. They've got to, according to her, this social justice affirmative action consultant, they've got to advertise again. They've got to then they must emphasise that they want a diverse range of applicants, which is code speak for no white people or no white men, and that they must change the culture of the business because all those white men are effectively Nazis. So they have to bring in black lesbians, and then the slightest infraction of any description, they can then use that one black lesbian as the excuse to go and beat up all the white guys on how they're all fascist Nazi Hitlers. And so she lays it out sort of chapter and verse about how to infiltrate a traditionally straight white male sort of workplace with affirmative action, or as to put a diverse range. So she overemphasizes, keeps on repeating, you must not it's desirable or see if you can bring it about. You must have a diverse range of applicants, and that they must be interviewed, and they must be on a final shortlist, and so on. And she effectively is saying that really, look, straight white males must be disqualified because they're the oppressor class. So she's dealing with classic gender studies type ideology and applying it to the recruitment process. Now, she's also adding as well, which struck me as interesting, that the CEO is even entertaining it, is that the reason straight white men are highly qualified is because they have social advantages, and that translates into them being highly qualified for this job. The fact that black lesbians don't have the same qualifications or credentials or accomplishments is because they've been oppressed. So they get a free pass on that. So it's a bit like the court cases that well, facts and evidence don't really matter. It's the social justice, social power thing, that the diversity of it all, it's all, that's really the issue now. It's a contest of social power within an ideological Marxist framework, and that's the issue here. And so the company is effectively obligated, according to this affirmative action consultant, they're obligated to not necessarily hire the black lesbian, but to disqualify all the qualified white men. And if the qualified white men are disqualified, then the only people left are the black lesbians, and then you give one of them the job. That seems to be, as far as I can tell, and I'm staggered that he's in. Now, I don't want to piss the CEO off and tell you you're a fucking idiot when you even listen to this bullshit for, because then that'll be problems for us. And I still need him to sign a few checks, progress payments on our project. So I don't want to annoy the guy, irritated, but I'm dying to tell him you're a fucking idiot, seriously. But that's not going to achieve anything. But this just shows the way things can run off the rails. Now it's even got worse than that, because now she's this affirmative action consultant's coming. It seems everybody in the organisation now thinks they want to deal themselves into the game, and want to put forward some sort of special pleading case for, hey, I've got a cousin who's trans, can they have the job? And all these other people are coming in the company wanting other things. Some of them, I suspect, I know because of the work we've been doing there, have got some very cozy feather bedding type deals for themselves, and they don't want that to be any risk or any threat to be put on that. So they want to influence the outcome as well. So it's turned into an absolute quagmire, a drama of the first order. So what began as something straightforward and fairly clear-headed and so on has turned into this monumental, pathetic drama that has no end in sight. And meanwhile, we sort of dawdle and wait for the issue to be solved. I wouldn't be surprised if in the end they just pay us out, that this is going to go on forever. And after a while, there are sort of penalty clauses kick in. I wouldn't be surprised if they just pay us out, because it's too complicated for them to, again, think of more than one thing at a time. It also shows or indicates to me that the organisation and the finances behind, they took their eye off the ball with the sort of people that they were putting in managerial positions. They've grabbed, it's almost like they've grabbed a mechanic off the shop floor and said, okay, look, we deal with mechanical engineering, you be the CEO. Well, you know about mechanics, don't you? And that level of simplicity that has been applied. And of course, to financial people who are just running it by the numbers and moving money around through acquisition, the details of how to run a business, that's kind of irrelevant. They don't care. And that's, I think, what's happened here. So once you get poor quality management in, or people are just over their heads, they're not evil or bad people or anything. Once you get low quality management in there, then the decisions they make are basically low quality. I mean, who the fuck would hire, a nose ring tattooed diversity consultant to tell them about what sort of VP to hire? I mean, you wouldn't do it in a million years, and yet here we are, and we can see it right in front of us. I mean, it's scary stuff. I'm hoping that this sort of thing is coming to an end, but here's an example sort of right in front of us today, and it's scary to watch. You've been fantastic today. Your pushback, John. Thank you for listening.